Hello. This is Wailing Caverns. This is the one I've been putting off for quite a while. That's because I don't really like it, to be honest. And the way I've set it up, because I've actually had to speed it up, because there's literally nothing interesting. And I can't be bothered to edit stuff, man. So I'm just gonna speed everything up. And the way I have to do this, I have to view it in Windows like Movie Maker, and everything gets out of sync, which I discovered. I've just talked about this dungeon, and it didn't work out very well. Everything was skipping, so I was like, okay. So I'm just going to talk about random stuff throughout this video because it's not going to sync up anyway. So yeah, I'm going to talk about the bosses, and I'm going to talk about why I don't like it, and also about my spider phobia, because I think that's relevant and important. So basically, there are like 7 bosses and like 1 optional boss in this ridiculous dungeon, and so it's quite long. And the frustrating thing is that they're all basically the same. There's like these druids of the Fang, which are called various snake names, related to snakes. That's what happens when you attract. No, let's not get into that because my mind's just wandering. Let's focus. And yeah, they're not fun. So this is the first boss. I don't know, it's probably out of sync at the minute anyway. The first boss, nothing to worry about. It heals as well as the druid of the fangs do, and it doesn't even heal for much, so you got nothing to worry about. The second boss is basically the same as the first boss. You'll see the route which I take in the video, hopefully, fingers crossed. And yeah, it's the same thing. It's nothing to worry about, nothing you need to stand out of, nothing you need to avoid. It's just stand there, do a lot of threat, keep your buffs up, keep your debuffs up, and it's great. And my voice is really starting to really starting to go. But that's fine. I'm gonna power through it because I gotta suffer for my art apparently. There's a minor upgrade there, which I'm happy about. But there's one boss which drops a really nice shield, and he's the optional one, and I'll get to that when I get to it. Basically, that's pretty self-explanatory, isn't it? So we're making our way unnecessarily to the next boss. Next boss is basically he heals a little bit, and that's fine. And then you come across the optional boss, which is the turtle, on your way to the next boss, and then you come across the 4th boss, which is what I'm going to call the 4th boss because it's the 4th boss. And he does basically the same thing. And then the 5th boss, I can't even remember what it is, but it probably does the same thing. There's a monster. There's a lizard boss, Scum or Scorn or whatever his name is. That's quite interesting. You'll see that in the video, but I've got no idea what's going on because I can't sync the audio. But yeah, he does a chain lightning. Okay, yeah, that's the most interesting spell, honestly, that's in this dungeon. And basically, if you don't know what chain lightning is, it's basically an attack which bounces between close by members of the party. Which it's like a thunderbolt, but on lots of people. That's basically it. And yeah. So probably the almost most notable boss, probably the best one, is the last one, and that's basically when you've done all the 6 bosses that it requires you to kill. You go back to the start, you talk to the Tauren guy, and he says, "Hey, what's up? We've got to save this guy. He's asleep. He's having a terrible dream. We're going to have to get him up. We're going to have to wake him up. Just shake his shoulders a bit." Although you're not actually supposed to do that. You're not supposed to do that if someone's having a nightmare. I've heard. I don't know, I heard it somewhere. It's just lodged in my brain anyway. Because apparently they could thrash, they could go crazy, and think you're the monster in their dream or something. I don't know. So don't do that. If you see someone having a nightmare, just let them plow through it. They're probably having like a really crazy inner battle with themselves. So if you interrupt them, it could go terribly wrong. What was I talking about? Oh yeah, last boss. Yeah, that's basically you follow this guy and it's a little escort quest, which I don't really like anyway because I think they're a bit tedious. And you follow him around, just follow him, and then he comes to this altar with this guy sleeping. He strokes his hair a little bit perhaps, and says it's going to be okay, and then he channels something, and basically you have loads of waves of mobs coming out of the water, which sounds more terrifying than it actually is. There's some elite mobs, there's some normal mobs. There's generally nothing to worry about, because generally the non-elite mobs, they come in lots of numbers, but they die so quickly in against 5 people. It's fine. So don't panic if you do see lots of things. It's like these, I don't know, I'm looking at snakes here, and I'm seeing them die really quickly. So if you see snakes and you see them dying quickly at the minute, then good, that means we're in sync. But failing that, let's just carry on what I was talking about. So the last boss, after a few waves, he comes out of the water. It's a giant murloc. Is that what they're called? I can't remember. I've had a mind blank. That's what they're called, isn't it? Because now I've got that Lord of the Rings in my head. You know, when he's behind, they're trying to get into Moria, and he's like, "Speak friend and enter," and he goes, "Murloc." I can't remember, because I watched Lord of the Rings the other day, and I can't remember if that's actually the word for the thing that I'm thinking of. Murloc. No, it is, isn't it? It sounds so weird coming out of my tongue. Anyway, yeah, he's one of them, and he's quite big, and basically all he does is he randomly mind controls people, which is, meh, it's alright. It's interesting, I suppose. I think you can actually snap them out of it by just dealing damage. Don't kill them, you know, just give them a slap on the bum or something, just like, whoa, you snap out of it, you do not do that. Do not do that. And then that gets him fine, that's fine. And I think he also fears as well, which incapacitates you, essentially. It makes you run away, if you didn't know that. I'm sure if you've done any PvP, gone up against some kind of warlock, he'll be fearing you all over the place. I generally don't like it. I don't like losing control of my character, man. That's not the best thing as a tank anyway. So I'm kind of used to being, you know, in firm control of the situation, knowing what I'm doing. Okay, where I'm at the video, I assume, I don't know. We're coming up to Scum, and I'm just again engaging him. He's a giant lizard. It's basically the things you get in the Barrens. It's all changed now, I don't know. But yeah, he's fine, nothing to worry about. Just chain lightning, boom. Oh yeah. Oh my god. Okay. I'm going to talk about my spiders. Okay. Basically, I'm trying to condition myself not to be scared of spiders, because I think it's ridiculous. They're so small. They are so small. So basically, it's the time of year in England anyway, where harvest spiders, you know, those little spindly, got spindly legs, like they're like War of the Worlds kind of things, but in miniature form. And they just sit in your house, and they just sit in corners, and they just wait there, and they watch you, and that's all they do. So I'm like, okay, I'll let them come in. I won't do anything crazy. I'll just let them come in, and hopefully I'll just get accustomed to them. Maybe make friends with them. I don't know. We could have breakfast together, and hopefully that will cure my. It's not irrational. I don't go mental if I see one. I don't start like whacking my. I don't have any slippers, but I don't go to the shops, buy a slipper, and then go like start hitting it. I'm not like that. Or even just run away. It takes me a while. If there's a spider in the bathroom, I had an interesting incident with a spider. We had one in our bathroom, and of course, because I live with like all females, you know. Yeah, what can I say? Yeah, they were like, "Oh my God, Johnny, help me!" And so like, but he was in such an awkward position. Usually I'm okay. Like if they're in an open space, which isn't very likely if you're a spider, but I kind of like I'm a predator. I kind of wait. I wait until they start crawling out into the open, and then I get my glass, boom, right on top of them. I don't know if that's my boom, right on them, and I'm like, okay. Then a piece of card, boom, bish bash bosh, out the door, and that's fine. That is just completely fine. But this one, he was at the top. He was at the top of the shower, and I had to be on tiptoes to like reach it. So even that is awkward in itself, and it was right in the corner, so I couldn't even like trap it with a glass. So I was like, oh my God, I'm gonna have to do something about this. So I put on the shower cap, and I put on like a anorak, just so it wouldn't crawl into my clothes. That was quite surreal. And so then And then I just went crazy, and I just went, ugh, and it fell into the cup. I got my cardboard, bosh, 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 and saved the day. And it took me 20 minutes just to psych myself up just for that. Even in my protective armor, it took me 20 minutes. I was just like studying it. I was like, oh, is he gonna move? Is he gonna move? Yeah, that's what you got to do. You got to outsmart them. That's the only thing you got to do. And yes, that was interesting. And then the bastard, the next day he was in the house again. I was like, how did he get in? How do you even do that? I always wonder like where the holes are into houses and how they get in. Maybe under doors, I suppose. I don't know. If anyone has the answer, please let me know. Because I'm quite interested. Yeah, so basically, I've had 3 or 4 harvest spiders in my room, and I'm looking around now, and I can't see them. So they buggered off. I don't actually know where they are, which is a little bit unnerving. God, they've actually gone. What have I done? What did I do to offend them? I was trying to be their friend, man. Am I really that bad company? Oh my god. Oh my god. What am I going to do? Anyway, I've probably eaten them. You know, apparently you eat 8 spiders in your life. Just by sleeping and they crawl in your mouth. Yeah. And I'm like over 20, so that means on average I've probably eaten about 2 spiders. 2 spiders already. I don't mind to be honest. I'm asleep. I'm not going to be bothered what gets put in my mouth. To be honest, so that's fine. Also, I've noticed that there's a harvest spider kind of in the corner of my bed. It's made a little web there, and I'm like, I don't want to disturb it because it kind of ruins my pact. Because I want to try and get used to it. So I'm currently technically sleeping with a spider right now. It's a bit of a shame. It's a bit awkward because when I have to put my covers over my bed, I have to disturb him a little bit. I'm like, shh, it's fine. Shh, I'm just making my bed. Yes, that's fine. Also, interesting thing you'll be proud of me for doing. I was lying in bed, right? It was quite late. Okay, nothing fishy. And I was watching videos on YouTube because I love them. It's probably yog. Yeah. And I was lying in bed and I saw something move in the corner of my eye, and I looked up, and to the side of my bed is like a wall. Obviously, I mean I don't have a bed in the middle of my room. That would be a bit weird. And up it was just crawling like one of those house spiders, not a harvest spider, but one of those furry ones. And I was like, crap. Oh my god. What if he falls down? What if he falls down into my bed? What am I gonna do? What am I gonna do? So I was like, okay, I can do one of 2 or 3 things. I don't know. I could probably do one of infinite many things. And I was like, okay, I could either get it, shove it out. But I was like, you know, in my PJs, in my comfy clothes. I'm like, I'm not gonna do that. I can't be bothered to do that. So I was like, okay, I'm just gonna leave it. I'm gonna go to sleep. It's not gonna bother me. It's probably gonna crawl away somewhere, and hopefully not into my mouth, and that'd be fine. And so yeah, I did that. I let it go, and I slept, knowing that there was a spider in my room, crawling around on my walls. So you should be proud of me. Oh god, that's the end of the video.